Hey folks, and welcome back to the channel for my regular Thursdoid update, where I'll sum up everything that was covered in the recent development update blog. As always, there will be a link in the description if you'd like to read the whole post in its entirety, and if you find these videos useful, please consider dropping it a like and subscribing to the channel. It's a massive help to me, and it looks like I'll be doing this full time here very soon, so more now than ever, I'd appreciate the support. Anyway, let's get into that blog update. So before we get into the juicy Build 42 stuff, there's a couple of things that the developers touch on before that, which I should probably mention despite the fact that I'm incredibly excited to get to the bits that come after. Firstly, Linux server instability fixes remain an ongoing task. 41.76 has been in testing, and the good news is that the overall network and connection speeds have been improved as a result, which will be a big plus to anyone who plays multiplayer really. However, there is an issue with residual errors in the game's ZombieNet library, which results in server instability. And don't worry, I've no idea what that means either, but the team says it's their #1 priority at present. The team then once again apologized for the disruption to those hosting and playing on Linux-based servers, recognizing that patience is understandably thin within this part of the community right now. There's a bit more detail in the blog post itself, so again, if you're a Linux user, I'd give the blog a read, which is linked in the description. Moving on, an update on what the team is currently working on. Most of the multiplayer team are now fully moved over onto the development of Build 42, with only a few brave soldiers remaining to work on the final patch for Build 41. Now, there's no timelines or expected dates here, but note that I've just said the final patch for Build 41, so that's exciting stuff to know that we're potentially very close to Build 42. The intention is for the next patch to be as non-disruptive as possible, and to leave Build 41 in the best place possible during the next period of extensive development on Build 42. Primarily, this update is fixed based and implementation of some polish is included, but there are also some expanded sandbox options to be had. Now, at this point, the developers share with us what those changes will be in a screenshot, and for any of you that have been on the Reddit recently, it's been full of people posting images like these, based on the joke that nobody in the Project Zomboid community knows how to take a bloody screenshot. The blog writer, clearly on top form with their meme game, posted this as their screenshot of the upcoming changes. Thankfully, there's also a link to the full change list just underneath this image on the blog post. And that brings us to another sneak peek at changes coming in Build 42. The good part of the video, I hope. This week, RJ gives us a look at some of the various functions available with animal husbandry, some of which has been playing in the background on this video so far. There's all in all about 6 minutes of footage here, so I've tried to cram in as much of that as I could. In here we see things like how the admin control works for animals, giving server owners tools to increase age, health, and the ability to give them a partner to mate with. Shearing of sheep is shown off, providing the player with wool to use, which I imagine will tie into tailoring, perhaps as we move closer to a crafting overhaul. Milking of said sheep is also shown, and the UI associated with checking an animal's health and information. As for the chickens, we're shown how the coop will work when providing a home for your livestock. Hens move to the roosts to lay their eggs, which then are added to the containers associated for the player to remove them at their leisure. Lastly, we're shown a control panel that will allow admins to change the animal's family history, resulting in what appears to be unique traits or flaws that the animal may possess. It looks pretty complex, but all the same, a very interesting feature that most players probably won't need to worry about, but will affect them. The last item before the update closes is one that's perfect for the upcoming spooky season. The sound design team have been working on different audio effects for sprinters, as if they weren't terrifying enough. Now, rather than saying anything about this one, I'm just gonna let this clip run. So yeah, that's delightfully horrifying, and I'll be looking forward to trying them myself when the change comes around. Anyway, that's it from me in this one, folks, but as always, please feel free to discuss the changes in the comments. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think about the animal husbandry features, especially as it's super important for the developers to get a good feel for players' feedback about these things. Lastly, a very special thank you to all of my patrons for their ongoing support, and if you'd like to join them in supporting my content financially and getting access to our whitelisted server server in return, you can find a link in the description. We've still got 2 weeks left of our Stalker wipe before we move on to a spooky season themed setup, which we're looking forward to letting you guys try. Thanks everyone, and I will see you all in the next one.